Hey, it's Dan McDonald here, and I am just getting started. It's still pretty early in the morning. I've got some tea here. I've had a lot of requests to learn about the proper way to brew tea. So let me start off first of all by telling you that this is a water distiller. I have a couple sources of water that I use. I use the distilled water myself. That's my preference for the tea because the distilled water will pull the constituents out of the herbs much more powerfully than a pre-structured spring water. And I have another type of water that I use for drinking water, and that is Makaleha spring water, which I harvest myself, and I put it in these glass jars, and I do that 2 to 3 times per week. I'll take a bunch, like 2 big backpacks, and load them full of water and tromp out of the jungle. Anyways, today I've got a full tank. This is called Mega Home water distiller. It's about $200 on Amazon. It's really one of the best purchases I've ever made. It just saved me a lot of money right away. It's a great emergency water source because you could take any water and put it through this thing and it'll come out pure. So that's a good thing to know. So I am going to use some distilled water here. I've got a little water heater here. This is where my stove used to be, so I have no stove. This is the one heating element that I do have in my home. I'm going to fill this up. It's already full almost with distilled water. And I'm going to show you how quickly this thing works. And what I'll do is I'm going to get some, I've got some Kauai Pharmacy. I'm going to use Vitality. I'll either use Vitality or Love Potion in the morning. Sometimes, believe it or not, yes, I will drink Women's Wellness, so it's not going to turn me into a woman or anything like that. It's actually a really flavorful, but my recommendation is that every woman has this Women's Wellness, particularly for when that time of the month comes or when you start feeling that coming on. I mean, it's better to use it almost daily, and that I've heard from a lot of women that it helps to lessen symptoms of PMS, balances hormones with the chaste tree in it. So maybe every couple weeks I'll drink a jar of Women's Wellness just for the flavor. But my go-to teas are Vitality and Love Potion. I'm just rapping about the teas while I let the water boil. I met Doug and Jenna like 1.5 years ago when I first got to the island. And I said to myself, man, I really don't want to leave this place, you know? And so I met Jenna, and I was so stoked about the herbs she was juicing and all the teas, and I was just like, sugarcane juice they had and turmeric, and I'd go there every day and buy their shots. And after a few days I became friends. We had these great conversations, and then that one day I was talking to her and I ran into her husband on another part of the island, and I said, so are you the guy with the wife who has the tea wagon? And he goes, yeah. And so then we started talking and we met, and then what I did was we ended up becoming friends, and they let me come and stay with them on the farm. So it was my very first place. The Kauai Pharmacy was the very first place that I lived on the island of Kauai. And I got to work in the gardens, and I got to learn about it, and I started doing some marketing for them. And I continued to get involved in this process of helping this amazing herbal farm grow. As you know me, I've been talking about fruits and herbs for as long as I can remember. And that's all that it is. It is fruits and it is herbs. Fruit is the food and herbs are the medicine. And that's all you need to know. Well, there are some nuances, but the general truth of how do you feed yourself? One of the issues is with the fruit, though, is that people are so toxic they can't even eat fruit, and they eat fruit for a few days or whatever, or even once. People drink a glass of fresh orange juice and be like, it made me sick. The orange juice didn't make you sick. The orange juice stirred up all the filth and pus and mucus, okay? So fruits are the cleansers and the feeders and the builders and the energizers and the illuminators of consciousness, and the herbs we use to neutralize the acidity and the chemicals everywhere. So we use the alkalinity and the consciousness of the herbs. And I have really come to love what they're doing over there at Kauai Pharmacy. I've seen the process all the way from nourishing the soil, building the soil, feeding the plants, to the harvesting, to the drying, to the packaging and the care and the concern. So the thing is like this Vitality was in the ground like maybe probably 3 weeks ago. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you order the Kauai Pharmacy teas, those herbs will have been in the ground 10 days or 2 weeks ago. So fresh. You won't find that at Walmart. So many people will comment on these videos. Just go buy cheap ass Walmart herbs. Go ahead. Go buy cheap Walmart oranges. I will eat freshly picked, organic, deeply mineral rich oranges. You can go eat those little orange balls with a little bit of sugar in them. No thanks, a little bit of flavor. There's a difference. And if you're a connoisseur, you want the best. You want the best herbs, you want the best food, you want the best water distiller. This was the best one I could find. You could spend $70 and get one, but is it going to fall apart? Is it going to last 10 years? This is simple, easy to use, that kind of thing. I'm a connoisseur. I want the best of everything. Low quality is just not my thing at all. So anyways, I'm letting that water boil, and so I use the Love Potion and the Vitality in the morning, because it's got a little bit more of a robust kind of a kick, especially the Love Potion. The Love Potion has ashwagandha, which it's basically like the Love Potion is basically the men's formula. But again, it's really good for women as well, because ashwagandha is a adaptogenic herb, and we need that because the stress levels are out of control, especially with everything that's going on right now. I mean, I've seen it, I've heard it, and I've talked to people. They're like stressed out, man. They don't have a good feeling about what's going on. So you got to keep your adrenals strong. So any adaptogenic herbs that you can get your hands on. That's why I use fruits and herbs to stay strong and fit and vital. I love plant medicine. I love plants for my food, and I love plants for my medicine. Here's another thing I want to share though, is the tranquility. If you do have stress, or you do have a hard time sleeping. I mean, people are on drugs. I get so many emails, I'm on drugs, I have to take drugs to sleep. I have to take 2 Xanax to sleep at night. The other day, I foolishly, or at least it was a great lesson, but I just had Tranquility, a double strong dose of Tranquility at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and I had a phone consult at 10, and I was just nodding out like the whole time, and I had to just keep slapping myself to keep myself awake. And then I took a nap right after the phone consult for like 3 hours. So Tranquility is not the best idea to drink that in the day, but in the nighttime when you want to come down. So those are my 3 basic teas: the Vitality, the Love Potion, and the Tranquility is pretty much at the top, because I do love to use tea to kind of just calm down. Now the water is done. Today we're going to have Vitality. I'm making one for myself and one for Dakota. We love tea. We pretty much drink it every day. First things first is water. I drink one of these. It's like been my program for as long as I can remember. I drink one of these of water. Then now I'm in the daily tea habit, so I drink one of these of tea. We've got tons of different recipes, and I know if I say, hey, tell me if you want to see them, I will show them to you: goji berries, ginger, lemon, turmeric, fresh garden brew herbs that we throw in here. I mean, the list goes on and on. But today, I just wanted to keep it super simple and basic, and to show you how to brew this tea, because I had so many questions. I'm surprised because it seems like such a simple thing, but the thing is, I do kind of do it different. I have a different kind of a style. I love the flavor of these teas, and I love things to be thick and rich and full of flavor. And so if you're a little bit more toxic, you want to go a lot slower. But I don't react to fruit juices. I have no bad reactions to anything. And and the reason is because of my diet and also the probiotics and the enzymes. I mean, I can eat a mountain of protein, not animal protein, that would make me sick, but I can eat the protein powder. I can eat piles and piles of fat. I can eat like 6 avocados and have no problems whatsoever. I can also drink a half a gallon of orange juice and I'm also fine. But people have different fluctuations. Some people can't handle fat because their gallbladder's clogged up. Some people can't handle the fruit because they're so toxic, the fruit stirs everything up. And so when you're dealing with these herbal teas that are just cleansing, you might want to start out a little slower than this, but I'm going to show you what I do. And I like to go kind of big. So I go 1 heaping teaspoon for me, and then 1 heaping tablespoon, excuse me. So I do a tablespoon per jar. You really don't need that much. Probably a half of a tablespoon would be more of the suggested. Let me actually read the directions here. 2 ounces of tea. So 1 teaspoon to every cup. So that's about right. I mean, I guess I'm doing it about right because this is 1 teaspoon, and I think that this is, I think a full jar is 4 cups. So actually, let's test this out here. So this is 1 teaspoon. So I'm just going to go big on this one. So yeah, that's about right. 2, 3, 4 teaspoons. So it is about, I guess I am following the directions. But I mean, I actually do add a little bit more than that. So I'm just going to get straight real because I love it. Boom. I like it really strong. So now I'm going to take my hot water and pour that in. So this is probably for the most hardcore raw foodists, technically not raw. To me, it's a decoction, and I've studied herbs and been an herbalist for many, many years. And so for the hardcore raw food person, they probably wouldn't be able to do this, and they would have to do the sun tea, which I love to do too, but that wouldn't be practical for a video right now. I take the exact same thing. I take the distilled water, I put it in here, I put the same amount of herbs, and then I set it out in the sun and in the moon. So for the hardcore raw foodie who wants to get that system going, that's what I would recommend. And you get a slower infusion, for sure, but it does, the distilled water pulls everything out really nicely. So what I do is normally that big thing right there, you can let that sit. If you want to step away for a while and keep the bugs out, there's not a lot of bugs. We have everything screened in, but they get in occasionally. So just to be safe, I usually just drop a lid on there. The lid also keeps it, I don't let the plastic touch the hot water, of course, but I just set it up on there, and I don't tighten it down. But the lid also helps to stay warmer longer. So the next step is the straining of the tea. And so you get a fine mesh strainer, and then you let this brew for about 20 minutes, half an hour, and then you pour it from here into here. Now, like I said, we have all kinds of different tonics that we use. I use sugar cane sometimes. I use goji berries to sweeten sometimes. We almost always put ginger in it. I would have done that today, but we don't have any ginger. Thankfully, we're headed to the market in about 45 minutes here. So we're going to get some ginger, because we pretty much like to add extra ginger because it's just such a, ginger is our kind of our coffee. And sometimes we'll add turmeric, lemon. We wait until it cools a bit to add the lemon, because we want to let it cool down for a good 30 minutes and brew. Then we bring in the honey, then we bring in the lemon. But we do put the ginger in the very beginning, and the turmeric as well, so that gets the full infusion. But the roots and the leaves in these herbs are being, the essence of the plant, the consciousness of the plant, the medicinal value. So I think that's good enough for today's video. Thanks everyone on the live chat on Facebook. I'll leave that running for another minute, but I think I'm pretty much done here. You just pour this into here and you enjoy what in my opinion are the best teas in the world, because of the quality that you get. Many teas, my friend, and supplements are from China and India and cheap crap that you're buying at Walmart to save money. You're not having the potency. You don't know if it's been irradiated. You don't know if it has chemicals on it, pesticides. I can guarantee though, since I've known the Kauai Pharmacy for a year and a half, that they use none of that stuff, and everything and every step is done with great care. And that's why I've continued to stay on with the Kauai Pharmacy to be a help, because I really do want to see that company grow. And so thank you all so very much for watching this video, giving it a thumbs up. I'll put a link down below to the Kauai Pharmacy. They've got YouTube, they've got Facebook, they've got Instagram, and they're a really great family. And they really use the herbs for everything. And there's a lot you can learn from their online media as well. So thank you very much. Have an awesome day. It's Saturday, and it's an amazing and beautiful day. And I hope that you are enjoying yourself immensely. So take care, and I'll be in touch soon.